She wasn't supposed to win this easily. Alex Eala just walked into Cincinnati and dismantled a seasoned WTA veteran in straight sets, and the crowd noise that followed didn't sound like a tennis match. It sounded like a homecoming. Because this wasn't just a win. This was a 21-year-old from the Philippines, seated for the very first time in her career at a WTA 1000 event, stepping onto one of the biggest stages in tennis, and turning it into her own backyard. Nobody expected it to go this cleanly. Not against a player who'd already beaten her once. Not against an opponent who just knocked out a far more experienced rival to even get here. But by the time the final point landed, the only question left was the one everyone's been asking all summer: how far can the Eala effect actually go? To understand what happened on that court, you have to go back a few days, to the streets outside Lindner Family Tennis Center, where thousands of Filipino fans had already turned Mason, Ohio into the newest outpost of what they'd started calling barangay tennis. Flags. Chants. Families who'd driven in just to stand outside a practice court. It's the same scene that swallowed Washington. The same scene that took over Toronto. And now it was happening again. Eala arrived in Ohio still catching her breath. She just won her first WTA title in Washington, beaten world number 3 Jessica Pegula to do it, stretched her winning streak to 7 matches, and pushed all the way to the round of 16 in Toronto before finally losing to Belinda Bencic. She needed a reset.
2 days off, she said. A haircut. Time with friends.
Nothing dramatic, just enough to get her mind off tennis for a moment. I need to get a haircut, she admitted afterward. I haven't gotten a haircut in a while. My nails are grown out now. Small things. But they mattered, because when she landed in Cincinnati, everything about her situation had changed. For the first time in her career, Eala wasn't scraping through qualifiers or hoping for a wild card. She was seeded 17th, high enough to earn a first-round bye, a luxury she'd never had before. That single detail says everything about how far she'd come in just a few months. And the fans knew it too. Cincinnati's Filipino community is smaller than you'd think, somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000 people in the city itself. But Ohio as a whole is home to nearly 17,000 Filipino Americans, and it felt like every single one of them had decided this was the week to show up. Practice courts surrounded by flags. Timelines flooded with welcome videos before she'd even played a match. Waiting for her was Elena-Gabriela Ruse of Romania, world number 77, and no stranger to Eala. The two had met once before, in the 2024 US Open qualifiers, and Ruse had won a grinding 3-set battle. She was the kind of opponent who didn't overpower you, she wore you down.
Long rallies. Relentless defense.
The patience to make you beat yourself. Eala knew exactly what she was walking into. They can maybe relax a bit, she said with a smile, nodding to the wall of Filipino support already gathering, because they will see me on court very soon. Light-hearted on the surface. But underneath it, she understood the stakes had changed completely. This wasn't a qualifying round anymore. This was a WTA 1000 main draw, a career-high ranking on the line, and thousands of fans who traveled specifically to watch her answer the one question that still lingered: could she beat the player who'd already beaten her? From the first point, it was clear something was different this time. Ruse came out swinging, holding serve early and immediately hunting Eala's backhand, trying to recreate the discomfort that had worked for her the first time around. But Eala wasn't the same player who'd walked onto that qualifying court over a year earlier. She had a title in her pocket now. A 7-match win streak. A career-high ranking of 20 in the world. And she carried all of it into the 4th game, when a scorching forehand down the line set up a cross-court backhand winner that broke Ruse's serve and sent the crowd into its first real eruption of the day. The set became exactly what everyone feared and hoped for. A grinding, high-quality baseline battle, neither player willing to hand over a cheap point. But Eala's precision started to tell the story. She landed nearly 70% of her first serves and won well over 70% of those points, which meant she was rarely the one on the back foot in the long exchanges. She needed just one more break chance the rest of the set.
She got it. She converted it.
And she closed it out, 6-3. Then Ruse did what dangerous veterans do. She raised her level exactly when she needed to.
The second set tightened.
Her serve got more aggressive, her return pressure sharper, and suddenly Eala was down 4-5, 1 game from a third and deciding set. This was the moment. Instead of panicking, she leaned into the things that had gotten her here: depth, patience, footwork, smart shot selection. Even when her first serve started missing its mark, she found a way to win 76% of her second serve points, refusing to give Ruse anything free.
She held.
The set went to a tiebreak. And for a moment, the entire stadium seemed to go quiet, like everyone understood this was where the match would actually be decided. It wasn't close. Eala took over completely, attacking Ruse's second serve, dictating from the very first shot of every point, racing out to a 7-2 finish. Final score, 6-3, 7-6. 1 hour and 48 minutes, and barely a wasted moment in the last stretch of it, she'd done it. Beaten the player who'd beaten her before. Done it at a WTA 1000. Done it in front of a crowd that had crossed an entire state to watch her do exactly this. But the celebration that followed the final point was its own story. Walking off the court, Eala was met with the same deafening roar that had already followed her through Washington and Toronto. Philippine flags draped over every railing, fans in custom Eala shirts, kids holding handmade signs reading "Fight, Believe, Represent." Chants of "Let's go," Alex rolling through the stands well after the match had ended.
Nobody left. The flags stayed up.
The noise didn't stop. It wasn't lost on the rest of the tour, either. Coco Gauff, the reigning US Open champion, had already spoken about what Eala's rise meant for the sport. "I like that Alex brings a whole new demographic to the WTA Tour," she said. "I think what she's doing for the sport of tennis is great. She's a great role model for people to look up to." Jessica Pegula, the very player Eala had beaten in the Washington final, put it even more plainly to the Filipino fans who kept showing up, tournament after tournament. "You guys are helping grow tennis around the world. Being a female athlete, being in tennis, we love to see that growth." And in her own post-match interview, Eala turned to speak directly to the community that had followed her from Washington to Toronto to Cincinnati. "Maraming salamat, mahal ko," she said. "I see you guys every week. I see how much you love your fellow Filipinos." That's really what Cincinnati was. Not just another win, not just another seed climbed or another streak extended. It was proof that a 21-year-old from the Philippines could land in a city with barely a couple thousand of her countrymen, and still make it feel like home.